All right, hey guys, Jerry from Showtime Audio. Just wanted to do the final walkthrough on the beautiful Z06. So this client chose to do our ALP system. So it has 3 heads in the front, 3 heads in the rear. We actually did the acrylic housing on the rear of this. The client also opted for the Bluetooth application. So there's a Bluetooth application that works with the ALP, which shows you on your phone or a tablet everything that's going on with the system. And then on the front end, client also opted for 3. So we have 1, 2, and then there's a TX in the center right below the license plate. So this is a custom bracket that Hondo bent up and made for this vehicle. It bolts to a stock bolt in this grill assembly. This way it's actually held in with a bolt. And if you ever wanted to, you can remove the bolt, remove the sensor, put the bolt back in. You'd never know we were there. On the front end, the client opted, we modified the plate. This is normally a press-in panel, which blocks off the plate. Actually just normally says Corvette on it, but the client is actually running a front plate. So what we did is we modified the plate slightly and then embedded the TX sensor flush in the bumper, and it's level. So we check all our sensors with the digital level to make sure that we're 0 degrees. And this way the sensors are getting the best coverage possible. You're the best possible defense you can get out of the system. So the nice thing about this is if the client ever wants to get rid of the car, you would remove this and then you can just pop the original filler piece in and you would not be able to see that we have modified the vehicle in any way. So depending on the vehicle or depending on your setup, if you're not running a center sensor, then obviously we're able to do no modifications. But this client wanted the most protection possible. And in order to have the most protection possible, you must run a TX sensor. So this allows us to put it in the center. But if you just wanted to run 2 sensors, 2 RXs, which obviously I'll have a TX on them as well, you don't have to do this modification. So this is totally up to the client. But if you want the most protection possible, then you must run a center TX. Yeah, so on a lot of the vehicles, we also build our acrylic housings, and which also gives us some flexibility as far as mounting the sensor without making any modifications. If you're interested in that, please check out our YouTube channel. We have tons of radar laser defense videos from all kinds of cars, everything from just a normal sedan all the way up to a supercar. So you can see tons of videos of behind the scenes, how we fabricate things, process pictures, all kinds of stuff. There's just a ton of information on there if you're interested in learning more about radar laser defense. All right, so on this particular vehicle, we added one of our IR acrylic housings. So as you can see, it goes all the way across, and then it's got this design element which is meant to mimic the splitter on the rear. So if you see the splitter go straight, comes up, across, and then back down. So ours also goes straight, comes up, comes down, and goes back across. It also helps so that the camera can get a full view, so we don't obstruct the camera, the rear backup camera at all. But it hides the 2 RX sensors and then the TX sensor. So it's just a nice clean way to clean up the bumper so that it doesn't draw any attention. And because it's black, just like all the black trim, it just looks like a design element. It doesn't look like anything's been added to the vehicle. All right, so the reason we get a question a lot why clients opt for 3 sensors, being 2 RXs and a TX. The main reason is you get the most amount of coverage running that configuration, and it also is able to jam a Dragon Eye gun. So the Dragon Eye gun is the most powerful gun on the market, and if you have the 3 head setup, that's the only way you can jam a Dragon Eye gun. So the way it works is your RX sensors are both have a receiver and a transmitter, where your TX sensors only have transmit. So what happens is you must pair a TX with an RX. So when you in an attack, the RX receives it, and the TX and all the sensors fire. All the TX portions of the sensor fire, therefore giving you the most defense out of any system out there. All right. So in this vehicle, the client opted to mount the ALP controller here, which technically you will not use it once you're using the app, because when you're using the app basically disables this controller and you're doing everything via the app. So the app is telling you if you're being hit, all the information, all the relevant information that you need to know is coming through the application itself. But in case you don't run the app, you're able to see the LED, which tells you what's going on as far as when you're ready to defend and when the system is actually functioning. It also allows you to mute the system and turn the system on and off. All right. So when you're using the application, it has a bunch of features, obviously, that you can't get on just a simple controller. So it tells you what gun you're being hit by. It tells you the mile per hour that you were hit at. It also allows you to change quite a few features, and you're also able to do updates via the app. So these are all the configurations that you can do. So you can configure, you can turn on miles per hour, kilometers, voice alerts, voice pack, audio output, audio mix, GPS, basically firmware updates. I mean, the app does allow you way more flexibility as far as other than just the standalone controller. So when you're in the app mode, obviously you have a screen and it lets you know the screen, the car will flash. It'll tell you the name of the gun that you're being hit by, and it will flash the speed that you're going at when you got hit.